Right, YouTube, it's Shadow King Nasru, and I'm here with my review for Mortal Kombat 2. Yeah, it's been a while since I've uploaded a video. Last one was my SWTOR run playthrough of Master Enigma. So that was about like almost a month ago. But yeah, this let's talk about the movie. So this is the sequel to the 2021 reboot of the Mortal Kombat movie. And it's based on the events of Mortal Kombat 2, though it like with the first film it takes a lot of a few liberties. Well, not a few, a bunch of liberties compared to the games. Um, but there are some faithful parts to it. It does cover Shao Kahn uh, and Outworld defeating Edenia and conquering it, him adopting Katana as his daughter, albeit Katana is older than she was in the games because in the game she was about an infant and she actually thought that Shao Kahn was her biological daughter. Whereas here, and she's a child, and she knew her real father was Jared, and that Shao Kahn was a usurper, and she's basically been serving him, but also trying to conspire against him to free Edenia. We still got three turning characters: Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Jackson Briggs, the OC character Cole Young, which we'll get to him in a bit. We also have characters that who died in the previous movie come back, such as Kano and Kung Lao, as you've seen through the trailers, as well as Bihan, aka the first Sub Zero, but this time becomes Noob Saibot, and we also get Scorpion. And for the new cast, we got uh, Shao Kahn, sort of. This is actually his first full appearance. Kitana, Jade. We also get the return of Shang Tsung. Oh, let's see who's right. And we also, in some trailers, this was revealed. We also get Quan Chi. So we got both the sorcerers. Though Quan Chi is rolled somewhat more minor on. Now, what do I think about this film overall? Overall, I would say I enjoyed it. Definitely an improvement over the first film, where there wasn't much of the action that we would wanted. There is an actual Mortal Kombat tournament, though they do play very loosely with the rules. Though knowing Shao Kahn and how they portrayed him both the old and modern games, where he's willing to cheat to take over another realm. I suppose, that does make sense and fits with his character. Would have also liked him to be a bit more, show more of his deceptive and cunning side, because some people who are only know about him for the new games thinks he's just a brute who relies on brute force and isn't exactly cunning. Whereas in the pre-reboot Mortal Kombat, we actually know that he was very cunning. And if someone was more powerful than him, say like the series, arguably the series' greatest villain, most powerful villain, Onaga, he wasn't as strong as Onaga, so he had to in order to overthrow him, he had to deceive him by poisoning him. And that I would like to have seen things like that, which is why I felt like they should have stuck to what the games did and have him deceive Katana into believing uh, he was her biological father. And with also also been more appropriate that we kept with the games that having Melina be created, as he knew that it should Katana find out her true heritage, she would try to betray him and free Adenia. So he created Melina as a clone to potentially replace her, and he lied and said, "No, this was your long lost daughter. I mean, your long lost sister, Katana." But well, we can't really do that because Melina was in the first film. That was a big mistake, and they already killed her. Sh- and we also got the coming of Johnny Cage, and he acts pretty much as the point of view character, where in the previously film it was Cole Young. And honestly, I say Carl Urban did a pretty good job as a Johnny Cage, or slightly different, but you can feel like Johnny Cage would kind of act like this. Um, in the original games, he was in the height of his career. He was still had that ego to him, and he was basically doing this for boost his movie credibility and show he could be taken seriously. Whereas now it seems to be taking more inspiration from like Mortal Kombat One, where Johnny Cage's acting career is kind of on a decline, and people aren't interested in his movies. And he's still kind of selfish. He can be kind of crass at times, but you can tell that when by the end of the film he does start to care and see the bigger picture of things. And all in all, I think Carl Urban did a solid job uh, as Johnny Cage. And for Cole Young, yeah, he's not in this movie much longer. They took the criticism there. We're not interested in this OC character you created with his literal plot armor. So yeah, they made sure to get rid of him quickly. Though I will commend him that he did a pretty solid job against Shao Kahn. And if Shao Kahn didn't have a certain ability that kept him in the fight, Cole Young would have defeated Shao Kahn. But you can honestly say that was a case for a lot of other characters who fought Shao Kahn. But I don't want to go too deep into it and let you guys experience those things in the film. I suppose for some negatives, I could say that I still feel like they did Liu Kang dirty. They didn't really um, give him his proper dues. He still has his personal story with Kung Lao, who does come back, was revived by Quan Chi, so he could fight the Infra champions, and he fights Liu Kang. And Liu Kang does a pretty clever trick where spoiler, he acts like he's about to give up, but just when Kung Lao's about to go for a finishing blow, Liu Kang gets out of the way and makes Kung Lao fall into his buzzsaw hat, and that ends up defeating him. And so I gotta give props for them showing that Liu Kang has a bit of a cleverness to his tactics, though. Um, I think another issue is that I can't I can't fully go into this without going to spoilers. Though although Liu Kang does fight Shao Kahn, just like in the games and in the movies and in the canon, he's unlike that. He doesn't beat Shao Kahn. He because Shao Kahn has a certain item that that allows him to regenerate. Basically, makes him immortal. And I'm not going to go into that because that's I want you guys to figure that out. But he doesn't defeat Shao Kahn, and because they have another character who I'm okay with them defeating Shao Kahn, but I would have preferred it was Liu Kang and this character defeating them together. Because that would have been created so much better potential as it keeps Liu Kang as the Mortal Kombat champion, shows that he can defeat the likes of Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, Shinnok, Onaga, um, and also establish a bond between this character. If you played the games, you probably figure out who I'm talking about. But since Liu Kang doesn't defeat them and doesn't become Mortal Kombat champion, that takes away the significance of his character and will potentially cause problems later down the line. So we had to have Liu Kang fight Shinnok or Onaga or whoever. You gotta ask about, hey, this, well, how's this guy gonna be able to do that when he's not even Mortal Kombat champion? Oh, and that's and when they if they ever decide to do adapt Deadly Alliance, since Liu Kang lost, that's gonna take away the impact of the threat of the Deadly Alliance because they were the ones who defeated Liu Kang, albeit by dirty tactics. So if you ever do Deadly Alliance, it's not gonna hold the same impact. So I honestly think that the games handle this better. And I feel like this is going to cause some issues later down the line. Uh, let's see what else. As for there's some other negatives I want to talk. I think Noob Saibot. I mean, he was fine for what he is, but he's basically just working for Shao Kahn and Quan Chi, but he doesn't really get to do all that much. Plus, it was a missed opportunity not bringing in his brother Kuai Liang, who became the second Sub Zero, and you have the contrast between Noob Saibot being the evil Sub Zero and Kuai Liang being the good Sub Zero. Plus, with Scorpion around, this would actually um, see the contrast between them and realize that Kuai Liang, while he took up the moniker of his enemy, he's not like his brother. He has some honor, and as he's willing to have make peace with the Lin Kuei. So, uh, Kano, Kano, I think was handled pretty well. He's basically the both guy who plays both sides. He's willing to do anything to get opportunities to get whatever he wants. And what was really interesting was that he decides to betray Shao Kahn because he realized that if Shao Kahn wins, he's basically going to turn Earth Realm into a wasteland like Outworld, and he doesn't want that. He just wants to live a debaucherous lifestyle, and so he basically works with the good guys. So I would say is pretty much in character with Kano to play both sides. And honestly, I expected him to actually double cross him and collect the MacGuffin, just to like sell it for a profit once the good guys cease to being useful to him. But I guess that they decided not to go that direction. And there was also Jade, who's played by that woman whose name I'm forgetting, but she's the woman who's going to be played in the main character in Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, that new game that's going to be done by Naughty Dog and Neil Druckmann. Yeah, I'm not going to blame that game. That's not Naughty Dog lost my trust after Last of Us 2. Uh, but yeah, I would say they do keep. I do definitely buy that this version of Jade is a friend of Katana, though they made her a denizen of Outworld rather than someone who was native from Medenia, and that was the reason why they were had a strong friendship because they were both Edenians and part of the royal household. But she's basically Shao Kahn's enforcer and protector of Kitana, and she has conflicted feelings about it when Kitana starts betraying Shao Kahn. But ultimately, she decides to decides to alive Katana because she's her best friend and wants to do the right thing. Well, so all in all, that does fine for his overall story as a standalone. I just would have preferred if I just it's just so distracting seeing her look. Her look is not enough. There wasn't much green to her attire, and so you kind of missed the part with her being Jade unless you see the staff is symbolic of her. And plus, they have her bald or at least shaved head, as opposed to having her with long braided hair, ponytails. I mean, long braided ponytail. And I'm wondering why did they do that? Why does she have a shaved head? Was it because she was going to be inherited intergalactic prophet or whatever? I mean, in that case, you could just have her wear a wig. But yeah, I would say that was an issue for me. But almost did a nice job with Jade. Shang Tsung. So Shang Tsung didn't get to do much. I mean, he does one plan that hinders the good guys. I'm not gonna tell him what he did, but he honestly could have done more, and we could have saw more of Shang Tsung's duplicitous sides where he wants to get under. I mean, get off from being under Shao Kahn's thumb, and basically be his own boss. But we don't get to see much of that. We only get like a slight mention that Shang Tsung might potentially betray Shao Kahn, but it doesn't really go much in it anywhere. And we also don't get to see Shang Tsung do his signature move of shapeshifting. Nor do we get to see him fight in the tournament, which they honestly should have done in the first film. But yeah, I think that's pretty much covers all my thoughts. Very solid story overall. Definitely pays respect to the games with the way they portray the Mortal Kombat characters' techniques, some of their interactions, and you get a general gist of the story. Though I feel some things should have been done better and more accurate to the games. All in all, I would say I give this maybe a 7.5 out of 10. Whereas I feel like the previous film may have been like, I don't know, maybe like a 6.5. You guys tell me in the comment section down below. If you've seen this movie, what were your thoughts? And what do you think things could be improved upon for the next film? Let me know in the comment section down below. I'll catch you mortals later.